Hello, I'm Jason Stone, the Division Head of Arts and Sciences at OSU-OKC. Let's continue our conversation about your future. I'm delighted that you chose to invest in yourself and attend to our next video in the series about the habits of the mind. The habit that we're stressing in this video is communicating with precision and accuracy. The Habits of the Mind authors, Costa and Kallick, encourage us to be clear and to strive for accuracy and precision in both written and verbal forms. Professor of Theater at Uranus College in Pennsylvania, Dominic Scudera, asserts that overgeneralization simplifies ideas and often leads to misinformed, misguided statements. As a teacher of communication and argumentation skills, I vigorously agree. In interpersonal communication, many arguments and conflicts are started because of sweeping overgeneralizations. Imagine a scenario in which you're home, you're watching some television, you're studying, you're looking at your exam materials, and your roommate barges in and is very upset about the status of the dishes in the kitchen. They may make an observation, something to the effect of, "Wow, the kitchen is really dirty. You never wash the dishes." While it's true that you don't wash the dishes very often, you spent 3 hours this past weekend doing the dishes and cleaning the kitchen spotless. Your feelings are hurt because your roommate's statement seemed to disregard your effort this past weekend. Sweeping generalizations oftentimes cause arguments. Notice that I used the word oftentimes in the previous sentence. I refrained from using the word always. Always is a word that typically starts fights. A scholar of philosophy who extensively studied how these modal qualifiers impact arguments was a professor named Stephen Toulmin. Stephen Toulmin developed a theory that examined these modal qualifiers. A modal qualifier is a term that clarifies when an argument is true or false. It helps answer the question, under what circumstances is this statement true? Is it true most of the time? Is it true all of the time? Under which circumstances does this argument apply? And here on the screen behind me, I have several different modal qualifiers displayed. Words such as always, never, is, are, all, none, absolutely, always, never, sometimes, is or are, may, be, might, all, many, some, few, probably, possibly, rarely, and occasionally are all great examples of modal qualifiers. Remember, modal qualifiers answer that question, under what circumstances does this argument apply? Lindsey Lohan is a celebrity who's created a lot of controversy about some of the overgeneralizations that she's used in the past. Specifically, she took to her Twitter account and compared her 90-day incarceration to the stoning of a woman in Iran for adultery. Now, clearly, these two things are completely different. Someone comparing their 90-day incarceration in a humane correctional facility in U.S. or in the United States prison system or in California is clearly an example of an overgeneralization. These two things are obviously not comparable. Being locked up in the county jail is not comparable with being buried in a pit while you're still alive and stoned to death with a bunch of large rocks. We see a lot of these types of harmful overgeneralizations also at play in the American political landscape. It's not just celebrities like Kanye West and Ashton Kutcher and Charlie Sheen and Courtney Love who are engaging in a bunch of overgeneralization. Indeed, celebrities aren't alone in that tendency. Our politicians also use a fair amount of overgeneralization. How many times have you heard a U.S. politician compare another politician or a politician that they disagree with to a Nazi? This type of general name-calling and invective happens far more frequently than most people in our political landscape would prefer. Remember to mind your modal qualifiers and learn from the mistakes of others. Minimize unnecessary confusion and conflict by communicating with precision and accuracy. Please join me and attend to the other videos in this series. Invest in your time and in your future. Attend to your thinking habits. Remember, your mental habits will determine how far you go. Thank you for your time and attention. Have a great day. Go Pokes.